Do you know how to get really good at something? We're going to talk about that on this episode of 5 Minutes with Dad.
Welcome to 5 Minutes with Dad, starring Pavlos and Angela Pavlidis, where you get to spend a few minutes with the smartest and coolest kids in the whole world, and their dad, too. And now, here are your hosts, Pavlos, Angela, and Nick Pavlidis.
Who's ready?
For an
Hey!
awesome episode of 5 Minutes with Dad.
What am I, a baby Yoda?
Yeah.
Me! I'm ready for an awesome episode of 5 Minutes with Dad. And boy, do we have a special one. Because back by popular demand is Pavlos. That's right. Pavlos Pavlidis is joining us today. And we are going to work Pavlos back into the rotation a little bit because Angela has just... Me, that's who it is. Angela has kind of taken over the show. She just hops up. Hey, can we record a show? And Pavlos lets her do her thing.
Eat chips.
And lets her eat chips and lets her
Eat every snack.
Pavlos can't believe that's what he really sounded like just a few short years ago. Pavlos, can you believe? Tell everyone how old you are.
11.
11. And you're going to be 12. You're closer to 12 than 11, aren't you?
Yeah.
In fact, we are almost at our 11th. No, not 11th. You're 11. We're almost at our 7th anniversary of when the show started. You started the show when you were 4, and you've been eating chips and eating every snack and podcasting for 7 years. You've almost been podcasting.
And we're back.
Where'd we go? Pavlos is now... We forgot about all these fun buttons to press. And he likes Angela's.
Thank you for listening.
Oh, that's what we play at the end of the show, right after the music. That's a new surprise for people.
Bye.
Hey.
And we're back.
Okay, so we did leave and come back. So Pavlos, you've almost been podcasting for twice as long as you weren't podcasting. So you started when you were 4. So basically 3.5 years we started recording a little bit before you turned 4, but 3.5 years you were alive, say 4 years before you started podcasting. And it's been almost 8 years or 7 years since you were podcasting. How cool is that?
Cool.
So what are some of the, and we'll get to the show because we got a really important topic we've talked about a couple years ago, but it's an important reminder. And for new listeners, we're going to talk about how to get really good at something. But
eat every snack.
You do not eat every snack to get really good at something. In fact, unless you want to not eating chips either. Unless you want to be a competitive eater, then you don't want to be doing that to get good at stuff.
Thank you for listening.
So
this is how we get good at everything.
Yeah.
Eat every snack.
So we are going to talk about that. But Pavlos, it's 2021. How cool is that? You haven't joined us for the new year yet. Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year.
Is there anything that you are looking forward to for the new year?
My birthday.
Your birthday's coming up.
And
eat every snack.
And eating every snack. Pavlos, do you know that when you said this,
eat every snack.
and this,
Eat chips.
you weren't talking about you. You were talking about your sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cut it and made it look like it was from me.
I know. Well, it is from you. It's just, we can say it about anything we want, right?
Yeah.
No need to answer. I just answered on your behalf. All right. So before we get into it, excited for your birthday. Excited for now. We just talked about this morning. We're recording this on January 30th, and we live in the Boston, Massachusetts area. And it's chilly out. It's cold today. It was cold yesterday, but it's starting to warm up a little bit. But the sun is starting to shine longer and longer and longer. And it started in December, and it started longer and longer and longer. So that means we're going to have more and more and more sunshine moving forward. So there's always something happy and exciting to look forward to. Even on the cold days, you start thinking, wow, we are on our way to brighter times, happy, 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 and we can be happy in the present, even if not everything is perfect. In fact, now it's perfect.
And we're back.
You want to press it? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are back. See, that's all right. We can have fun with the podcast and Fortunately, we did have that button ready to go. So Pavlos didn't even have to say, and we're back, although I just did. Oops. Well, anyhow, let's break.
And we're back.
Let's break into what we do every week. The
Joke of the
week.
week. The resource of the week.
Oh, that was the resource of the week. Oh, Angela has this one.
Ready for the resource of the week sandwich? Me.
Angela's ready for the resource of the week sandwich.
Me.
Pavlos is ready for the resource of the week sandwich.
Me.
I'm ready, and Ange again for the resource of the week sandwich. That starts with the first joke of the week. Pavlos, you want to do the first one?
What kind of car does Yoda have?
What kind of car does Yoda have? I don't know.
A Toyota.
A Toyota. Uh-oh. Where is it? Where is it? Well, no. Where is it? Where is it? All right. Pavlos gets the laughter. He doesn't get the sad trombone. Hey-yo. That's a good one. Round of applause for Pavlos. All right. So now we're going to talk about the resource of the week. And if
What about your joke?
well, we do the resource of the week sandwich, which means the bread.
yeah.
Remember? Yeah, it's been a minute since Pavlos has been here. Oh, Pavlos, you're rusty. You're rusty. All right, I oiled you up. You're good. Okay, so the resource of the week. Hey-o. The resource of the week this week is going to sound a little bit familiar if you've been around really last week, because Angela chose the resource of the week last week and Pavlos chose the resource of the week this week. It is a different resource of the week, but it's really similar. Last week we did Uno emoji. So if you go to 5minuteswithdad.com/Uno emoji, that'll send you over to Amazon through our affiliate link to buy that deck of cards and have some fun. One of the cool things about Uno emoji is one of the tricks, one of the things that the gadget cards, so to speak, is you can make someone keep an emoji face for an entire round. So it's a little silly, so it's a little fun. Pavlos, I said, hey, Pavlos, what do you want to do this week? He said, Uno Flip, F-L-I-P. So if you head on over to 5minuteswithdad.com/Uno Flip, that'll send you to Amazon to pick Flip. And Flip has a fun one. The sort of bonus ones for Uno Flip are you can get someone to give
There's
you
a
their...
dark side.
Yeah, you can get someone to give you their hand, right?
With a 7. And then, so 7, you choose any hand. 0s, you rotate the cards.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different
and then
gadgets.
the dark side, there's +5s and challenge cards.
Oh, +5 wild, so you get someone to pick up. Oh no, +5 just regular cards. You get them to pick.
Yeah.
Oh, so the dark side. I haven't played this one with you guys yet. So the dark side is
The challenge cards are the ones with the card that has an arrow.
and
going
there are
up.
challenges there. Oh, that sounds fun. Maybe we'll play this after the podcast. All right. So if you want to pick up Uno Flip, check that out at 5minuteswithdad.com/ wait for it. Uno
Flip.
How'd you guess, Pavlos? Awesome. All right. So now it's time for the second joke
Joke of the week.
And that is
I got the trombone ready.
what? All right. Let's see if I can avoid the trombone or the crickets. I think I have a tough judge. Here's the crickets. That's when the whole room is silent. Okay, ready? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Mikey.
Mikey who?
My key isn't working. Can you let me in? Aw, sad trombone. Well. Wow, that cricket sticks around for a while, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So this episode, we're going to have a quick chat about how to get really good at something. And now there are some obvious ways that we know to get really good at something, but then there are a couple of little deeper strategies that a lot of people don't do. Some of it goes on in our head. In fact, a lot of it goes on in our head. So if you want to get really good at something, you have to think about what you're doing outside of your head. So like, let's just say basketball is something you wanted to get good at. What do you do outside of your head? What does your body do, Pavlos? if you want to get really good at it?
Practice.
Practice. Yeah. If you want to get good at shooting the ball, you shoot a whole bunch of shots. You shoot free throws, you shoot layups, you shoot 3-pointers, you do all sorts of things. If you want to get good at passing, you practice passing. If you want to get good at different types of passes, you do the chest pass, you do the bounce pass, you do all sorts of things. So you practice. But there's also a lot that goes on in your head. In fact, the difference between the best of the best of the best in the world.
The best of the best.
And those, even the professionals who aren't the best of the best of the best among the professionals, is often more about their brains than their bodies. Isn't that interesting, Pavlos?
Isn't it studying the opponent?
Yeah, they study the opponents. They use strategy. So how do you get good at something? First, you practice. You got to do it over and over again, right, buddy?
Yeah.
Then you got to learn about it. So if you want to practice basketball and you are practicing the shooting in a way that doesn't really work very well, you can shoot as many times as you want and you're going to get better, but you're not going to get the best that you can because you didn't learn the right technique. So number one, you got to practice. Number two, you got to learn. So in competitive sports, in sports like basketball and football and baseball, you study the opponents, like Pavlos said. So if you're going to go against someone in basketball, say Pavlos and I are playing basketball, Pavlos probably doesn't want to shoot the ball right in front of my face because he knows that I'm taller than him for now until he grows even more. He's getting there though. Mm-hmm. So he's probably going to want to learn a little bit about me and probably, go ahead, you can press it. Yeah. And probably want to do more of a dribble and try to get past me and do a layup. So you got to play strategy. But
play smart.
Play smart. Exactly. Now, so you get better because you get smarter. So you increase your skills at something and you increase your strategy at something. So you learn the different strategies. Now, what's really important is the next one, or another really important thing is the next one. There's 4 altogether. So number 1 is practice. Number 2 is play smart. That means learn about technique and learn about if you're competing against people, learn about their strengths and their challenges. So that way you can play good strategy. You can play smart. And then what about competition, Pavlos? What do I always say? There's so much in life that's just not
the
a
only
competition.
person you're competing against is yourself.
Exactly. So if you want to get good at something, the definition of getting better at something is getting better than yourself. It's getting better than you were yesterday, today, and getting better tomorrow than you are today. If you worry about other people and whether
in a run, make it farther than you did before.
Yeah. And if you are running a race like a 100-yard dash, do it faster than you did before, right?
Yeah.
So that shows you that you're getting better and better and better. So compete hard, but only compete against yourself. Now, if you're running a race against other people, you can't control how fast the other people run. You can control how fast you run. So while you might finish second place or first place or fifth place, and other people will run faster than you, if you ran faster than you've ever run before, you did an amazing job. And if you tried harder than you ever did before,
you did an amazing job.
Exactly. All right. So we keep challenging ourselves to do better and better and better in everything we do. And that gets us to continuously grow and continuously get better. So, Pavlos, remember we talked about when you and Angela were running a race with your cousins a few years back on Cape Cod on 4th of July. We were talking about strategy and how to run a race. And this was a 50-yard dash, I think, or maybe it was a 100-yard dash. And one of the things I suggested to everyone, and everyone looked at me like I was a little bit odd. I said, this is how you win a race. Especially if you're competing against yourself, because you can notice it when you're competing against yourself, and you also end up noticing it.
Dad,
what's up,
didn't
buddy?
I beat myself that time? I was tied for first.
Yep, you did. In fact, I don't know if you were tied for first or first, but yeah, you had a great time. We don't really time those races because they're just every every year, so we don't keep track of how fast you run every year, especially because kids grow and they'll get a lot faster year after year. But you did an amazing job, and you either came in first, tied for first, or second, or something like that. You did an amazing job, and here's the strategy. I said, for a short race, you start by running as fast as you can. And then when you get close to the finish line, what do?
You run faster.
You run faster. Now, doesn't that sound a little odd, Pavlos?
Yeah.
Yeah, you run as fast as you can and then faster. But that goes to show you two things. Number one, we might start trying as hard as we can, and then halfway into something, we start to struggle. We start to doubt ourselves. We start to get tired a little bit. We start to ease up a little bit. That idea, when you get close to the end, to run faster, even though you start off running as fast as you can, and then you get close to the end, you start faster. That idea, just thinking of that and saying, now, because I used to always, so when they looked at me odd, I said, let's go outside and practice. Let's practice a few races. So run. Okay. And when I say now, I want you to run even faster, but I want you to run as fast as you can when you start. Okay. And I guarantee you're going to have some extra gas in the tank. So Pavlos, his cousins, everything. Go. Now. Go. Now, go. Now, everyone sped up at the end, and they were amazed, and they did it. And my goodness, did not Pavlos and his cousins all get first, second, third place in those races with lots and lots and lots of kids? Why? Because they use their brains and their bodies. And when you use both, you have an advantage. They were competing against themselves in the race. I'm going to run as fast as I can, and then I'm going to challenge myself to run faster. So when you challenge yourself to do better, then you end up doing as good as you can. And when you do as good as you can, the results
Are better.
Their results are better. Absolutely. Because you can't control how fast people run. But just having that idea, when you're doing something, you start and then go even faster. That helps you avoid giving up a little bit. And number two, it goes to show us that a lot of times, even when we feel like we are working hard at something that we want to get better at, we want to do well at, we do have a little gas left in the tank. So if you always remind yourself, when I go to the gym and I'm 20 minutes into an hour-long workout and I'm working my tail off to do a good job and work really hard, I think to myself, my goodness, am I tired? And then my coach at the gym will say, okay, now everybody go all out. And I say, oh, all out? I can barely breathe right now. But guess what? I got a little left when I challenge myself to do it. So that's all you need to. I know that sounded like a lot, but let's summarize, Pavlos, all right? Number one, you got to practice. You got to do it over and over again.
Number two
You got to work smart, right?
And race against yourself, not others.
Exactly, not other people. So number one, practice. Number two, play smart. Number three, challenge yourself, compete against yourself. And number four, remind yourself that when you keep going, you're going to be going up and down, and that's okay. But just remind yourself that you always have a little more left in the tank, and it's worth it when you're doing something that you really want to get better at, to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to go as smart as I can. And then after 3 months, I'm going to go look to see if there's something I'm missing. Or I'm going to go as hard as I can. And then after a month, I'm going to see if there's an extra way that I could do even more.
And go faster.
Yeah. And that works when you're running short races or when you're doing something over a long period of time. I love this topic. I could go on for hours and hours and hours talking about it, but it's 5 minutes with Dad, not 5 days with Dad. And we've been chatting about this for about 10 minutes. So
you should change the name to 10-ish minutes of Dad.
Yeah, 5-ish minutes with Dad. I know back when we first started, you know how long it used to take me to get 5 usable minutes of audio from a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old?
5 days.
It felt like it. No, 45 minutes to an hour. So it was hard, but it was so much fun, and I'm so glad I did it. And I love listening back to our episodes because I get to hear our conversations from you when you were 4 and 5 years old and when your sister was 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years old. It's just so awesome to be able to listen back to hear how Pavlos and Angela have
Every snack.
eaten every snack in the house.
Eat chips.
And chips, and how you guys have, all the great ideas you had and everything. It's just been so awesome. So, all right, let's leave it at that. Don't forget, check out Uno Flip at 5minuteswithdad.com.
.com/.
Uno Flip. And don't forget, work hard, practice, work smart, and challenge yourself, and you can do anything, and you can get better and better and better over time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to 5 Minutes with Dad. To connect with Pavlos, Angela, and Nick, subscribe to the 5 Minutes with Dad newsletter at 5minuteswithdad.com.
Thank you for listening.